All right, Easy Sports Talk Show. He's Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. All right, we're gonna keep this on a local focus, even though the Diamondbacks are a national focus. And this team I'm about to talk about next is a national focus as well, based upon the expectations. The Suns lost to the Spurs. They lost a 20-point lead. I was watching some of that game. You know, I told you before we started, my Achilles was giving me all kinds of problems. I just went to sleep, man. I was icing and doing Tim's machines and all that stuff on it. And so I just went to sleep because I saw that they were up. They were going to the fourth quarter. They were up by 14. Man, they ended up losing this game. They lost the game to the Spurs. So the Suns are now 2-2. Now I want to zoom out a little bit. What did I say? And what did I say? And I know you mentioned this as well, but I know when we got Bradley Beal, I said, that's cool. He's a good player, but look at what the sample size, the recency of the last couple of seasons. He doesn't play full seasons. He is injury prone. That's just, there's no way to look. There's no other way to look at it. So far, 4 games in, no games played by Bradley Beal. Then my man Devin Booker, the last 2 games he has missed, and he's the last 2 games he has missed. Is this just one of those, hey, it's early in the season where they try to say it's early, or is this is one of those things where I think that it doesn't necessarily bode well maybe for the chemistry of this team, because you got to get chemistry by playing together, not practice, but playing in game situations.
Bruh, we are in the first portion of 82, and these guys are already nursing stuff and missing games. In my opinion, and you might agree with me, this is just more to come. So, to say you're supposed to be missing games, okay, in December because of some tweaks and stuff like that. Not in October, fresh out the gate. When did you hurt yourself? Nobody's playing in these preseason games, and you had all off season to heal anything that might have been hurting, and then you don't even start the season. And now, not just one of them, but Booker. And then at some point, Katie's going to hurt, because what's going to happen. Those two are going to nurse what they're nursing. They'll get back in eventually. Katie will tweak something in December. He'll be out for 8 weeks or whatever, 4 weeks or whatever it is. And it'll just be a rotation of who's down, who's up all through the season. Then at the end of the year, it'll be like, well, these guys never really got their chemistry, but we'll see, because, now it's the playoffs. And, man, I'm telling you,
man, that light switch thing, that's a dangerous game to play.
I would not, this is going to be a long season of cross your fingers and let's see who's healthy, who's ready to play. And here's the thing, Jay, even without those 2 down, you're not supposed to be losing to the Spurs. I've seen the Spurs, and I know they have Wembanyama, but the oldest dude on their team is 25 years old on their starting unit. Yeah. And I mean, I've watched them a little bit, and it's like, that's a fun little team that, Pop is going to eventually get them to playing well. But, even with KD himself and the group, you're thinking, you were up 20 and you lose this game. And that to me is just a bad sign, a bad look. These super teams, man, these teams they put together and all the expectations. What do we always say about expectations, Jay? That everybody's gets heightened because, hey, they've been talking about it since the trade, and this team's going to be number 1 in the West. And okay, we'll see.
Yeah, and I stand corrected. Booker has played just the 1 game. He played that season opening game, so he's missed the last 3. Yeah. And one of the things that I was impressed by the role players. So Grayson Allen, he played well. Watanabe, he played well. Nurkic, he played well as well, in addition to those other 2 players. But Gordon had 20 plus points in the game. But again, that's my concern, man, because and I say this, and I said this on our radio show before we went national. I said this about Devin Booker. Yeah, I think he's a number 1, but if he goes through another stretch of being injured, he goes from that's just a nick to now being injury prone. And that's just the way it is. If you look at, again, the same way that I look at Bradley Beal, the same way that I look at Devin Booker in that regard. And it's not just to say that he's not dedicated and motivated, but sometimes it's just the DNA that you have that you got to deal with.
And we got 3 main pieces that have a history of injury, and not just little ones, Jay. When Booker goes down, when KD goes down, they don't just go down; they go down. Because we're talking hamstrings and this and that. And you just, you cross your fingers. It's like, please, and I guess you want to, would you rather have them hurt early or late? So maybe they get it out of the way early this year. And then after the new year kicks in, they start getting some time to get chemistry and stuff like that. But I don't have any faith myself personally in like these three guys getting a whole chunk of games in together. There are going to be spots where we're going to be missing pieces all the way through the year. And then once again, like I said, it'll be when we get around playoff time, how much have they had a chance to play together, and can they pull it together, to win a title? I don't know.